Welcome to the segment that talks all about database. What we want to do is to explore database in terms of using Microsoft Access as our main database management system. There are several database management systems that can be used. Access is just one of those that is kind of easier to learn, and so it's easy for us to teach at the high school level. Other types of database that exist, I know there's Postgres, there is MySQL, which is popular, and of course it's free. Again, we're doing Access because of its ease. So what's a database? A database essentially is a collection of related data. People use databases for many reasons, just for storing data, for manipulating data, for creating reports, creating queries. And so those are some of the things that you keep in mind as we go through everything. The database consists of your database tables, which are used to store data, consists of your forms, which are used to enter data into tables. So think of forms like the form that you will fill in when you go to apply for something or something like that, or online. So you fill in the form, and when you press send, that data goes into table. And you also have then queries, where you can ask the table to return certain things, and query is essentially an answer to a question, right? And once you have queries established, it means then that you will be able to quickly generate reports. So our fourth thing is reports. And reports are just hard copy of queries that were asked to the database. So again, tables, forms, queries, and reports. For tonight, what we'll be looking at is the development of table. And we'll kind of jump right into it instead of going through, and we'll probably need to do a session only on talk about relational databases. But for tonight, what we're doing is I'm going to show you how to quickly build your table and populate it. So let's jump into that. One of the first things we want to do is to just get Microsoft Access open. Choose blank database because we're creating a new database. And again, we're assuming that we're building this database for some sort of hotel management system where you're able to track customers, the room they stay in, and some sort of receipt or charge, right? So we're going to start by calling our database. We'll call it our hotel database, so hotel DB. Create. Yes, I already created one, so yes, override. Alright, and one of the first things we need to do is to jump into the design view for the table, keeping in mind that we're building tables so that tables can store data, right? So we can right click on table 1 and choose design view. So remembering that we're doing a relational database, meaning that we have to separate tables so we don't have that repetition of data. Our first table is going to be called customer table. So this will be the table that will keep customer data only. Now, in all tables, you would want or prefer your table to have something called a primary key. And a primary key essentially is a unique identifier, something that uniquely identifies a set of data or a record. So say for example, so your social security number, that could be a great primary key simply because each person will have a different social security number. You could use your passport number as your primary key. In our case, since we're not too sure what we're going to use it, we're just going to create something called a customer ID. So we'll type that in, customer ID. And we can leave that as an auto number, which means that the computer will automatically number the customer first, which would be fine. Or we could add in the number. I'm going to say let's put in the number manually, and I'll put in the number as a text. So although I'm saying customer ID normally would be a number, remember that it can be some text along with number. So the minute you have that mixture of text and numbers, we can automatically assume that it's going to be a text. Now you notice that the key is already there. This key signifies that this will be our primary key. This is our unique identifier, so we're saying each customer will have a unique customer ID. If the key was not there, we could have always right-clicked and chosen primary key. Right? So that is what we're doing. So data type will be of type text, and description is whatever description you want to put for the field name so that you can remember maybe the type of data the field name is holding, or reference back to some list that you would have had. Other things that describes customer, now this is where it comes in handy for you to break down your table into different field names based on what describes that table. So another thing that would describe customer would be first name, and that would be a text. And if you look at the list, these are ones that we use often: text, numbers, date/time, currency, auto number. Sometimes you use attachment if you're adding in a picture or so forth, right? So first name, and it's always a good idea to separate first name and last name. I'm going to leave out middle name for this particular tutorial. So first name, last name, your customer ID. Your customer might now have an email address, and they will have a phone number. You notice that I have phone numbers set as text also, and not a number, simply because most phone numbers you will have, for example, 3 numbers followed by a dash, followed by 4 numbers, or you'll have that dash inside. That makes it a text. If you leave it as number and you try to place in the dash, it will give you an error, because that is not a number. Right? So it's always a good idea to just put it as text. Alright, so first name, last name, email address, phone number, and let's say address, or home address, right? So we're saying that these are the fields that we will use to keep track of our customers who come into our hotel. And of course, you can always add more. You can add in the person's date of birth, you can add in the social security number, you can add in your passport number. You might want to you can add whatever other field names you feel like you need to describe a customer. Okay? So that's fine for now. So we save our table by going to the X here, and we'll talk about all of these field properties in another tutorial where you can specify what each field, or restricting what you want in each field. Okay? We'll talk about those afterwards. So yes, so we have our first table saved as customer table. Alright, so if I were to double click this, we have an empty table with customer ID, first name, last name, email address, phone, home address. And so we would, if we wanted to go ahead and put in data, it means that we have to create a form for this. So that's your first step in creating a table in Microsoft Access. From here on, the plan is to continue building on this by filling in the other tables that we would need. And I'll show you that in later tutorial. We will plan out the database, and we'll see if we can create tables, link them together with relationship. That's how you create tables in Microsoft Access. Yeah, so that's it for the first part of the video on how to create tables. A large portion of work that goes into database creation goes into the planning phase. It is important that we plan our database first to know exactly what we want. So for our particular hotel management system, we are building, tonight I only showed you the construction for the customer table, which is a start. And keep in mind that you could have built much more, or added as much more field names as you wish. During the next video, we will take a look at adding in something that keeps track of rooms, and something that works kind of like a chart sheet for when the customer comes in and what room they get, and so you can grab some of those history later on as you populate your database. So that's it for creating tables. See you in the next video. Have a great day.